You know, I just don't get tired of that song. I just love that song. I don't ever get tired of it. Angus, do you ever get tired of that song?
No, Dermot, I love that song. It's great. It's like a pound of haggis.
What's haggis, Angus?
Oh, it's a sheep's stomach. It's stuffed with barley and wheat. It's good for you. It gets the hair going on your chest.
Okay, Angus, I'm sorry I asked. All right, let's welcome back everyone. You're listening to the Celtic Coast Radio Show, The Irishman's Guide to Making More Money. The 6 big lies that you were told growing up in this culture, where everything is about money, and most of it is not true. Rich people are miserable. Is that true? Is that true? Well, I'll tell you what's true. The truth is there are miserable rich people and there are happy rich people. And I'll tell you what else is true, based on my own experience of this world. There are miserable broke people and they are happy broke people. Now, I've been both in my life. Thank God I'm more on the first one now, in terms of being happy and having some money. But money was never the problem. I used to think, when I make money, I'll be happy. And then I started making money, and I found out that I'm just the same person. If you want to know what it feels like to have a lot of money, close your eyes. And I want to thank Michael Neal for this little experiment. He's one of my mentors, an amazing man. Close your eyes, and this is what it feels like. Would you like to feel what it feels like to have money? More money. Here it is. Close your eyes. Feel what it feels to be you in this moment. Now that's what it feels like to have more money. You don't change. Like I used to think when I got more money, and I've gone through hell with money. When I moved to L.A. when I was 30, and I had a lot of money when I moved to L.A., but I spent it I spent all of it in 2 years. I mean, I had a heck of a lot of money that I had made in Aspen, Colorado, saved up, and I spent it within 2 years. And at the end of and I was just kind of floating along, and then now when you're broke and you got no money to even pay your bills, it's hard. There's no question about it. It was hard for me when I got down to that level. I started borrowing money and credit cards and all that stuff. And was broke. Boy, that was tough. Now you can be broke, but you'll always be abundant, which is interesting. I didn't know that at the time, because abundance comes in many, many, many different forms. We're going to talk about that soon. We're going to talk about one of the lies. If I make more, someone else will have less. So we're going to talk about that. But I remember screaming in the car, like screaming to God, like he had anything to do with it, or she, for all the bad decisions that I'd made about money, blaming it on God when I was doing it to myself. I didn't know that at the time, though. Why don't I have enough money? Why am I so broke? Why don't you send me some money? Now, God was sending me money. I was getting money. I was getting a paycheck every month. I was waiting tables, doing different things. I was getting money, but I was spending it as quick as I could get it. I've known rich people who had money and are miserable. I've known rich people who have money and they're very happy. You've heard this old story of the rich have everything, that's why I have nothing. It's not true. Not true. Not true. And we're going to talk about that in a moment. Most people who are wealthy, now there's a lot of millionaires. They call them everyday millionaires in America. Everyday millionaires. How do you know if you're rich? It's really simple. If your name is on the side of a building, you're pretty rich. If your name is on the desk, you're middle class, but you still got some money. If your name is on your T-shirt, not so rich. If your name is scribbled on a piece of paper and stuck to your T-shirt, maybe not so. I've gone through all of that except for I have had my name on the side of a building when I was doing theater but I wasn't rich at the time. But you get the idea. Let me give you some stats. 90% of the wealth in the U.S., right, is held by the richest 20% of the families. Now, they have money. But that's just the wealth that you can see. That's not the wealth of the universe. That's not the wealth of everyday life. That's just the wealth that's here right now. That can change in a heartbeat. Just look down through history. History is a great snapshot of that. 74% of the millennials out there, God bless them, believe that millionaires inherited their wealth. 52% of the baby boomers, which are the people who were born in the 1950s with the gold watch and, hey, work really hard, and at some point you'll retire, and then you can be happy. You'll retire wealthy or rich, and then you can be happy. Not true. Not true. I get clients coming to me, baby boomers. They have the picket fence, they have the house, they have the wife, the kids are all gone, empty nest syndrome. They've had the life, they've had the money, they got the money. Not happy. Dermot, what do I do now? I have all I ever wanted, and I'm not happy. 21% of millionaires received an inheritance at all. 21%, did I get that right, of millionaires received? Yeah, 21% of the millionaires out there did not receive any type of inheritance at all. And 16% of the millionaires out there inherited about $100,000. So most people, millionaires, created their own wealth. Only 3% of the actual millionaires out there received an inheritance at or above $1 million. Now, those stats I got from a website, chrishogan.com. You can check him out at chrishogan.com. Thank you, Chris. 3% of millionaires. Most people who are millionaires, they worked for the money. You know, as Donna Summer says, she worked hard for the money. Well, so did he. So did they. There are a lot of everyday millionaires. Now, do you know how the difference between making money and creating wealth? It's very simple. You get out of debt. That's the first thing. That's why death, D-E-B-T, is so closely related to death. They could call it the same. Death, and death. It's the same. It sounds the same. You get out of debt, and you start saving. Now, I'm not telling you where to put your money. I can tell you where for me, mutual funds is the way to go. Compounding interest is the way to go. Roth IRA, put $3,000 away every year. I think you're allowed about $3,000 a year for 30 years. And you'll have a buttload of money at the end of it. Close to $1 million bucks, but $800,000. Tax free, by the way. So rich people are miserable? Not true. I would rather be rich and miserable than broke and miserable. I don't know about you, but I would that would work for me. Now, some people say, hey, the best way to have fun spending money is spend the bank's money. I would not be doing that. I've done that. I've spent the bank's money. But, it's really interesting. The bank comes back and they want their money back at some point. I mean, what's with that? How come? How come you want your money back? Didn't you say I could have your money? Didn't you say you'd give it to me with a smile? And, hey, Dermot, take your time. And no rush. Pay us back when you got it. Now, you can learn about money. There's no question about it. You can learn about money. It's not hard. It's not hard. You can learn about money. Now, we're going to talk about the next, how do you make money? Right? If I make more money, somebody else will have less. That's a big fat lie. That is not true. That is just not true. All right, welcome. We're going to play a little Irish music. You can dance around the room if you like. You can have your clothes on or off. Doesn't really matter. You know, we don't judge here. But take a little break. Take a breath. Pause the thing. And we'll be right back with the Celtic Coach Radio Show. The Irishman's Guide to Making More Money. 6 big lies that they tell you that you just don't want to believe. Take a breath. We'll be right back. Make a cup of tea, actually, and then come back. That's what I'm drinking, my tea. Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to the Celtic Coach Radio Show. Oh, well, blah, blah, blah. You know the deal. All right. If I make more money, well, that means that somebody else has less. Now, I grew up with this one. Like the food. Dermot, eat your cabbage. I did not like cabbage. Now, God bless my beloved, lovely, wonderful mother. I love you, Mom. I miss you dearly. She would say to me, Dermot, eat your cabbage. Don't you know there are starving people in Africa? Now, I used to think, what does eating this cabbage have to do with the starve? I mean, if I eat the cabbage, is somehow the cabbage going to go into me and come out in Africa? Like, how does that work? Now, God bless you, Mom, but I'm not sure you were correct on that one. Eat your cabbage. There's people starving in Africa. Now, there's people starving all over the world, but I'm not sure they're eating my cabbage. Anyway, I'm going to get off the cabbage thing. If I make more money, somebody else will have less money. Now, that makes as much sense to me as saying, if I breathe in too much oxygen, others won't have enough to breathe. Oh, Dermot, that's so silly. That's so... Yeah. If I make more money, somebody else will have less. It's absolutely a big bunch of blarney with a capital B. Angus, will you tell people how big of a blarney that is?
Dermot, I can't express enough what kind of a big bunch of baloney and blarney that is, mate.
Now, you heard it from Angus. If Angus says it's true, whatever comes out of that guy's mouth, he's Scottish, so whatever he says is true. We live in an abundant universe. How do I know that? Dermot, can you prove that? Can you prove that the universe is abundant? Yeah, I can. When I look outside my window and I don't see any lack in nature, except the lack that we create from cutting down all the trees and blah, 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 but that's a whole other show. When I look at the universe and I see the planets and the stars and the supernovas and the gas giants and the moons and the suns and how infinite. Do you know that they said that there's no end to the universe? Because the very act of looking creates. In the same way, if you believe the BS story, the lie, if I make more money, somebody else will have less. Yes, if I take in too much oxygen, the person who comes after me to the radio show is not going to have enough oxygen. That's not going to be good. I better just take my fair share. I won't breathe. I'm going to breathe in every 5 seconds as opposed to every second. That way there'll be loads for. There's no shortage in the universe. And there's no shortage of money on the planet. Do you know why I know that? Now, Dermot, how do you know that? Because they print it pretty much on a daily basis. They're printing money. Hey, we need some more money, John. No problem. How much you want me to print? Let me hit the print button. Print. There you go. $10 billion. Print it. Here you go. You need anything? No, that's it. That's good. But all those guys out there, it's so funny. They think there's a shortage of money. I wish they could see me down here printing it. The only shortage that you have in your life, now you may not have physical money in the moment, but we're going to talk about that. But the real shortage, the lie, is your thinking tells you that there's a shortage of money in the world. There's not. It's not true. It is not true. Dear listeners, for God's sakes, man, it's not true. Sean Connery, is it true? No, Dermot, it's not true at all. There's no such thing as shortage in this universe. Thank you, Sean. Right? All right. Now, got a question for you. Would you be willing, let's say you're a coach, we're talking to all the coaches out there, let's say you're a small business owner, would you be willing to offer your services? A willingness to, now by the way, a willingness is to offer your services. Just a willingness. Would you be willing to offer your services for a price? Now sit down and think about what the price is. Think about what's the low price that I would not charge, what's the high price that I wouldn't charge, and what's the just right price for you, for your services or your goods, because that's what money is for. It's to pay for services and goods. It's an exchange. That's why they call it an exchange. It's an exchange of money for goods and services. So would you be willing to offer your services? Your coaching services, whatever it might be. Your products. You're willing to offer your products for money. How much money? A doctor, you know, it's really interesting. Coaches come to me all the time because I train them, right? And if you're a coach out there listening and you're struggling with your business, come talk to me. I'll give you a half an hour of my time for free, and I'll tell you how to build your business. You can go to thecelticcoach.com. You can connect with me there, or you can send me an email at thecelticcoach, C-E-L-T-I-C, thecelticcoach@gmail. I'll give you 30 minutes. I'll tell you how to build your business. No charge, no gimmicks. Just call me, and I'll help you out. I'm happy to do it. By the way, I've also got a program coming up in September. And you can talk to me about that too. So, you see, all that's really necessary is a willingness to be able to offer your services. Now, most coaches think that, oh, I need more information. I need to know how to do this. No. You just got to put yourself out there. You got to show up and try stuff. If I make more money, somebody else will have less. It's not true. There's plenty of oxygen to go around. But you know, as Michael Neal says, that people have confused oxygen with money. If I don't have any money, I'm going to die. No, it's not true. It's not true. There's plenty of places on the planet. I was at a homeless shelter for 2 years. None of those people had any money, and they were getting 3 meals a day. They got a bed. They got a place to stay. They could watch television. They could learn programs. They could take walks. They could work out. They could come see me on Fridays for coaching. They could get a job if they wanted. Not get a job they didn't want. They could hang out all day if they wanted. Not true. Money is not oxygen. Money is a way for you to get things. That's it. Not oxygen. Now, we're going to talk a lot more about how to make money in later and in next week's episode. But here's one thing to do. Really simple. Get a piece of paper, put a line down the middle, and on one side of the column, write things that make me money, and on the other side, write things that don't make me money. Right? What makes me money? and things that do not make me money, and write them out on your on your piece of paper. And the things that do not make you money, that you think make you money, eliminate them, or at least do less of them. And start putting your attention on making money. Now, building wealth is something different. We're going to talk about that later in a different program. Because there are things, as Steve Chandler, my coach and mentor, says, Dermot, there's things that you'll get a high return. They're high return activities, and there are things that are low return activities. You've got to clarify. You've got to quantify. You've got to specify. Identify. You've got to identify those things that are not making you money. And delete them. Get rid of them. It's okay to say no. No. I won't be there. No, I can't do that. No, I can't pay for that. No, I can't go out to dinner with you right now. I'm on a budget, which we're going to talk about in next week's show. I'm not talking about a budget right now because I don't have one. But I can guarantee you in the next few days, one's going to get created in our house. I never thought I needed it, but boy, I do. If you want to create wealth, you want to be wealthy, not just make money, you want to be wealthy, you need a budget. We're going to talk about that. So would you be willing, pause the tape, would you be willing to offer your services for money? And what's your number? What's the number to start with, knowing that will change? Second thing, make 2 columns. On the left, what makes me money. On the right, what doesn't. You could call it a not-to-do list as opposed to a do list. Make a not-to-do. These are the things I'm not going to do anymore because they are wasting my time. And time is money. Well, what you do with your time is money. Other people sit on the couch and eat Doritos. That's time, but it's not money. What you do with your time is money. That's true. So if I make more money, somebody else will have less. Rubbish. Entire blarney. Say it with me, ladies and gentlemen. Blarney. Which means not true. All right. Let's play a little bit of happy-go-lucky music, and we'll be right back. We're going to be looking at I'm just not any good with money, Dermot. That's why I'm broke. Not true. Not true at all. Stay tuned, everyone. We'll be right back. Welcome back. All right, let's talk a little bit about the lie. Who needs money when you've got love? Who needs money when you've got love? Now, are you talking about the love of money or money to buy love? I mean, you can go out and buy love. Well, actually, you can go out and buy sex. I don't know if you can buy love. Love is not for sale, but certainly sex is. You can go out and buy money. So who needs money when you've got love? You know, it's very interesting. There's more songs written about love and money, I think, than anything else out there. Now, I talked a little bit about this. Who needs money when you... Look, first thing you need to do is create a budget. Tell your money where to go. Now, we're going to talk about more about it. I'm not going to talk about it now because I don't have a budget. So I'm not going to tell you something that I'm not doing. Although I'm not doing everything in the show here. I'm throwing some dirt on the wall, and whatever sticks, great. Whatever you like, take. Whatever you don't like, discard. But I used to think that, well, I've got love in my heart, I'll be okay. You know, I like people. I love people. I'll be fine. I'll do well in my business. Now, that is true. But love and service needs to be acted upon. Being in your heart is all fine and everything, but it's got to be acted upon. Money is very simple. Money is a total reflection of love and service in action, which is what I tell all the coaches all the time. If you love talking to people, if you love connecting with people, you'll do well as a coach. But you need some action behind that. You need some things that you got to do. So money is a definite reflection of love and service in action. Now, I have coaches that come to me and say, Dermot, I am so busy. Got a lot of love in my heart, but I'm really busy. But I'm not making any money. And I think to myself, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. You're too busy. That's why you're not making any money. Yeah. So what's your question? And they look at me and go, what? I said, well, you just answered your own part of a question. I'm so busy, but I'm still not making money. Yeah, you're not making any money because you're too busy. Most of the busyness that goes on in people's lives in their heads. I know that to be true for myself. Like when you do that little thing, and I did it this morning just for fun, because I do my best to do things that if I'm going to ask you to do something, I'm going to do them too. I do my best. I'm not always perfect with it, but I do my best with it. And what I found was all these things that I was doing, they were busy, keeping me busy, answering emails, writing stuff down, looking on LinkedIn and Facebook and all these things, checking my website, creating stuff for my website that wasn't really going anywhere. It wasn't making me money. I was very busy thinking about my life and all this and why I don't have any money and blah blah blah. And that was back then. I don't think in that way anymore today, I have to say. But I've gone through that. Boy, have I gone through that. Whew, oh God, I really gone through it. Being busy doesn't mean that you have more money. It just means that you're really busy and you don't have any money. You got to slow down. You want to make money, you got to slow down and look at the areas of your life. Hey, how do I make more money? How do I build wealth? Build wealth is simple. You just got to pay off your debt and start saving money. Put it in some mutual funds. Learn about mutual funds. Learn about compounding interest. It's incredible. It'll save your life. Now, I remember when The Secret came out. I don't know, 10, 15 years ago or something. I was like, yes, this is it. I don't have to do anything. I just got to sit at home, eat Doritos, watch Oprah, and think my way into more money. Ah, yes, I'm going to attract more money. You don't attract more money. I mean, some people do. It does happen. I have had moments in my life where one time I went home and I met this uncle I hadn't seen for years, and he gave me a check for £20,000, which is about $35,000. So it does happen. I'm not saying it doesn't. But for most of us, sitting at home eating Doritos and, meditating on making more money, it's helpful, but it doesn't really make it. It's not something you can depend on. Now, visioning money, I'm all about, but there's got to be action. Faith without works is dead. So you don't attract money, you create it. You don't attract wealth, you build it. Now, who needs money when you got love? Love is wonderful for sharing, for hugging, for making love, for feeling, for giving, for service. But love is lousy at paying the rent. Love is terrible for paying the gas bill. Love is horrible for paying the mortgage. Love is not helpful buying the kids clothes. But it's wonderful for loving the kids. It's wonderful for loving yourself. It's wonderful for appreciating others. It's a free gift that was given to us regardless of whether we have money or not. Love is free. No question about it. But forget about love when you're paying the bills. Money buys you stuff, goods, and services. Love is who you are at the core. And both are needed to live your life. Both are needed. That's like, yeah, we live in a physical universe. We need money. There's nothing wrong with that. See, the BS story that we've made this whole thing up. Oh, the rich are miserable and money's not going to make you happy. Sure, it won't make you happy, but you know what? I'd rather be miserable. I'd rather be miserable and happy. I could sit in a limousine or a big house and be miserable. Be totally fine with that. There's nothing wrong with money. Money's good. Money is great. Money is wonderful. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with money. Experiences you can have. You can give it. You can take it. You can make it. You can create it. It's wonderful. Wonderful. Money can buy you stuff. Love is who you are. It's that simple. All right, let's play a little happy-go-lucky Irish music, and we'll be right back with not that one. I'm just not any good with money. Number 4 on our list. I'm just not good with money. That's not true. All right, we'll be right back with the 6 Big Lies. You're listening to the Celtic Coach Radio Show, where science, spirituality, and self-discovery meet on KOWS.FM, 92.5 FM on the dial. I'm just not good with money, Dermot. That's why I'm broke. I'm just horrible with money. I can't seem to make any money. I'm just, I'm not good with money. I never learned it, and I grew up in a poor family. Now, I grew up with poverty, and my mom always said, Dermot, poverty's not something to be ashamed of, but it is an inconvenience. Well, let me tell you, we were inconvenienced a lot. A lot. There was a lot of inconvenience, especially around the time of buying food and paying bills. It seemed to crop up more. Holy moly. Moly moly. We were poor. One time, there was this mouse, and I went into the fridge and I got him a little bit of cheese, and I went over and I said, "Hey, here you go, buddy." And I put it next to the hole in the wall, little cheese. And the next day I went into the fridge. I mean, this will tell you how poor we were. Went into the fridge, and the little piece of cheese was back in the fridge with a note. Lunch is on me. Signed, the mouse. Now that's poor. That is poor. Yeah, the best things in life are free, plus shipping and handling. All right. What's 6 inches long, 2 inches wide, and drives all the women mad? Money. Money. What else? It's like, when you're young, there's no such thing as time or money. Like when you're young, you don't think about money, you don't think about time. But when you're in your 40s, time is money. But when you're in your 80s, time is no longer money. I went to the bank yesterday and I said, "Hey, I need to open up another bank account," and the lady was like, "What do you mean? Why do you need to open up another one?" I said, "Well, that one that you gave me last week, it's empty. Ran out." All right. I'm not just good with any money. That is the biggest bunch of blarney I've ever heard in my life. That's a lie. I tell you, it's a damn lie. Did you know that who you think you are? I'm just not any good with money. Who you think you are is made up. Did you know that? Your BS story about money, made up, made of thought. We live in a universe of thought. Thought creates everything. Thought, as Michael Neal says, don't believe thought because it makes up everything. It's true. Our ideas about money, made up. Our ideas about broke, lack, can't make any money, not any good with money, thought. Now you might call that your story, but we call it thought. Because there's no such thing as lack or broke. You can have no money. That just means you don't have any money. This personality that people hide behind, that only comes up when you're insecure about being you. In other words, your personality is what you hide behind when you're insecure about being you. But when you're not thinking about being you and being broke, and you're not any good with money, you don't seem to have any problems. I often ask my clients, when I'm coaching them, I say, hey, do you like surprises? Oh, yeah, I love surprises, Dermot. Yeah. I say, do you love surprises as much as problems? No, I hate problems. I don't want them. But you know what's interesting? Problems are the surprises that you don't like. And surprises are what you do like. The ones that you like. Now you can reinvent yourself. You can reinvent these ideas because they're all up for grabs. They're all a story. They're all thought. You can have a different thought. You can think a different thought. You can just not give any energy to the thoughts you're thinking about. I'm just not any good with money. I used to think all the time. Years and years and years and years. Because I grew up in poverty, and we were pretty poor growing up. There's no question about it. Like our house was so small that the rats were even hunchback. I mean, we were poor. Poor, I tell you, with a P-O-O-R. R. And I used to think because I've had that childhood, I'm no good with money. My mother never taught me about money. My dad drank all the money. I heard all the fights about money. Money didn't grow on trees. Who the hell do you think you are? You don't need any money. Grew up with all that stuff. And that's why today I'm just not any good with money. Rubbish. The reason I was not good with money is because I took no time to learn about being good with money. Time and attention makes you good with money. Time and attention has nothing to do with being smart, has nothing to do with being I'm just not that type of person, has nothing to do with your capabilities, has nothing to do with your identity, who the person you are. It has nothing to do with you envisioning the future. Nothing. And everything to do with putting a little bit of time and attention to learn about money. It's that simple. Money is used to buy stuff. Money does not care whether you are good enough, smart enough, beautiful enough, rich enough, poor enough, big enough, small enough, confident enough, courageous enough. Doesn't care. Money's got no feelings attached to it. It's a piece of paper. You ascribe the meaning to the money through your thinking. You're thinking up the meaning for your entire life all the time. All the time. Meaning. Give meaning to this, to my relationship, to the person who just screamed at me, to my boss, to money, to insecurity, to my babies, to my life, to my house, to my car. You give meaning to everything. Everything in the world is meaningless until you ascribe meaning to it. And money is one of the big ones. I'm just not any good with money. Bunch of blarney. You can reinvent yourself. You can say, you know what? That's just not true. I'm not good with any. No, you have no experience with building wealth, with creating money, with making money. Or you've very little experience. Or you've been believing the blarney stories about money. Let go of all that crap. It's not true. It's made up. You're making up the meaning of money in the moment. Made up all the time. Made up. Can't make any money. Not that kind of a person. I'm not smart enough, not good enough. I don't have the confidence that all those people have. Money doesn't care. Some of the wealthiest people on the planet never finished grade school. I left school when I was 15 and a half. Henry Ford, one of the richest men on the planet at the time, never finished high school. And the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. So you can reinvent yourself. You're doing it anyway. Every day you reinvent yourself. I'm this type of person today. Oh, I'm that type of person today. Oh, I did something courageous. Now I'm a courageous person. You're constantly making up who you are and what money means to you. So do it consciously. Hey, I'm willing to see this differently. I'm willing to look at money in a different way. I'm willing to be okay with not having an experience with making money, with building wealth, but I'm open to it. I'm willing to do that. If you want to make more money, just go out and get a bloody job. Just go out and get a job. If you want more money, go out to Starbucks or one of those McDonald's or one of those places, drive a car, go out and make more money. If you want a career, if you want to build wealth, then start educating yourself. Chris Hogan or Dave Ramsey, those guys, wonderful, wonderful. Total Money Makeover, great book. Great book. I'm rereading it right now. So you want money, go out and get a job. You can make money. I'm just not good with any money. I'm not that type of person. Go out and get a job. Make money. Making money is easy. Any fool can do it. And if you want a career, then you got to go out and you got to serve lots of people. Love and service in action. That's simple. My dear, dear mother, bless her heart. She said, Dermot, it's the small things done well. They make the difference. They totally do. And they'll build you wealth. Because wealth is all about saving. Wealth is about getting out of debt and saving. And putting your money where your money works for you. It's that simple. Not rocket science, everyone. I used to have so much fear around money and so many stories around money. Can't make it, not good enough, never learned it, I'm stupid. That was mine. I was stupid. Not true. There are so many everyday millionaires out there in America who are just average Joes and Marys. They just got out of debt. They got some mutual funds. They got a few IRAs. They did a few things, smart things with their money. And you can go to some of these financial planners now. I'm not telling you what to do with your money or where to go. You got to do that. That's yourself. You do that for yourself. But if you think for the future, 20 years down the road, and you start now, you can totally retire, if that's what you want to do, wealthy. No question about it. Not a hard thing to do in America. So your question, would you be willing today to learn something new about money? Would you be willing to go on the internet for 5 minutes and type in 10 things I should know about building wealth? 10 things or 5 most important things I should know about making more money or building wealth. Would you be willing to put 5 minutes in? And would you be willing to let go of the story, I'm just not any good with money? Because it's BS. It's rubbish. That is made up. That is not true. The universe is abundant. When you start just pointing yourself in the direction that you want to go and take one step, every day take one step. Get on the internet, find out one thing, listen to one radio show. Go back. I have a complete show on thecelticcoach.com. Go to weekly radio shows and go down and look through the shows. I have a bunch of things there on money. 5 minutes per day. Would you be willing to do that? Because that's all it takes. go out and get a job. You want to make money. You want to build wealth. Put in a few minutes every day of learning how to do it. It's really simple, everyone. It's not rocket science. I used to think it was. I found out it's not. It's really not. All right, grab a cup of tea, everyone, and we're going to spend about 10 more minutes in the show. So it's going to be an hour and 10 minutes for the show today. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about money is hard to make, and it's harder to keep. I'm going to give you a few little practical things to wash that away, and it's a resource I have also to look at that. All right, welcome back, everyone. We're in the home stretch of the Celtic Coach Radio Show, where science, spirituality, and self-discovery meet. Now, we're going to be talking next week. So this is a 4-part series. Last week was The Irishman's Guide to Creating More Money, 6 Big Ideas. This week, The Irishman's Guide to Creating More Money, 6 Big Lies. Next week, The Irishman's Guide to Creating More Money, 6 Big Things that you can do now. And then part 4 will be 6 big things that you got to stop doing. That you really got to stop doing. It's going to be a 4-part show. So next week we'll continue. So I hope you're enjoying them. And if you're listening to, this is part 2. So if you started on part 2, go back to part 1, which is 6 Big Ideas, The Irishman's Guide, 6 Big Ideas, and listen to them in order, because I've created them in order for a specific reason. There'll also be a program coming out here in the next month or two on the website, thecelticcoach.com, and it'll have 6 pieces, some of what we talked about, and expanded on this. I'm going to give you a lot more information that will be transformational for you in that program. And it's not going to be an expensive program at all. It'll be at a very nominal fee. All right, money is hard to make, and it's harder to keep, Dermot. I have clients that tell me that money's really hard to make, Dermot. Not so. My coach, the wonderful Steve Chandler, has a book called Wealth Warrior. And a few of the little things that I'm going to share in the next 10 minutes are going to be from that book. So thank you, Steve. I really appreciate you writing that book. And just a wonderful one. I went over and I went through all my notes again this morning, because I'll read the book and I'll take the notes and then I give the book away. So because I keep my notes, I read my notes quite a bit often. And so we're going to talk about that. Steve Chandler, Wealth Warrior, great book. Dave Ramsey, The Total Money Makeover, another wonderful book. All right. Money is hard to make, and it's harder to keep, Dermot. Not true. Just not true at all. Come on, Dermot, are you sure about that? It's not true? Yes, I'm pretty sure about that. Had a client last week. He lost his credit card, and I said, "Why didn't you report the credit card?" And he said, "Because the thief that stole it was spending less than my wife." Now that could have easily been a female client, so don't get me wrong. Do you know what's true? Everything is expensive when you're poor. That's what's true. Come to think of it, everything is expensive when you're rich too. Do you know that it's wild, but most people spend more on a haircut for their dog than they do a haircut for themselves? Isn't that crazy? God bless those lovely people who say love is the most important thing in the world. Poor people say it's money because they don't have it. All right. Money's hard to make, hard to keep, Dermot. Not true. Big bunch of blarney. Here's how you make money. Now, Steve Chandler calls this baby steps. Now, I do this with my clients. When they have a big project and they want to create something new or fascinating in their lives, I ask them to do the baby steps. Doesn't matter what it is, whether they want to make more money, whether they want to get out of debt, whether they want to have a better life, whether they want to have a better relationship, whether they want to start a business, a coaching business, whatever it is. Baby steps. Another way to think about it is doing the doable today. What can you do today that's doable, that would move you in the direction of making more money? Now, I would start with letting go of this BS story that money's hard to make. It's hard to keep, Dermot. Every time I make it, it's like a bus. It comes and it goes. It comes and it goes. Money is like ice cream left out in the warmth. It just comes and it goes. I don't know where it goes, Dermot. It looks pretty solid for a while, but then it disappears. Oh, God. You know, I'm just entertaining myself. I'm really just entertaining myself. That's all that's really going on here in the show. All right. So practice baby steps and doing the doable. Now, somebody's calling into the show, but I can't answer it right now because I'm way into talking here. All right. So practice the baby steps, everyone, and do the doable. Think about that for a moment. Practice the baby steps. What's one baby step in supporting you that would support you to make more money that you could start today? What's something easy? What's something easy that you could do that you're not doing that would help you to build some money? The bank called me up yesterday, and the lady on the phone says to me, Mr. Butterly, this is the bank. We want you to know that you have $5 in your account. And I thought to myself, oh, I wonder what bill did I forget to pay this month? You know, I used to say to people, money means nothing to me. Just ask me for some and you'll get nothing. See, I told you. All right. Have you noticed that when you were young, you wanted everything now? Now. Like a little bit like Freddie Mercury. I want it now. I want it now. All right, I want it all. I want it now. Boom, boom. And as you get older, you say, I can wait till tomorrow. Money's like that. I would get real about having money now. And don't wait till mañana, because mañana never comes. Poverty doesn't have it doesn't have a bus ticket. I have no idea what that meant, by the way. Don't even think about that because it makes no sense. Poverty will wait for you. Maybe that's a better way of saying it. When you focus on getting out of debt, you'll start to get out of debt. Only then. There's no one on a white horse. I used to think that somebody on a white horse is coming for me, like a beautiful blonde with hair all the way down her back, you know. None on her head, it's all on her back. And she's riding on a white horse, and she comes up to me and she gives me the winning lottery tickets. And that solves all my problems. It might happen. I'm a believer of miracles. It could happen. But I'm not depending on it. You know, I'm not staking my happiness on it happening. But I'm open to it. I'm willing. Totally willing. You know? When you start to focus on making money, you'll start making money. When you start to focus on building wealth, you'll build wealth. Making money is easy. As I said, you just point yourself in the direction that you want to go, and you take the first step. Whether it's getting a job or applying for a job or getting a driving or whatever it is. There's a billion ways to make money. But don't make making money be about you. Money is hard for me to make, Dermot. It's harder for me. No, it's hard for you to keep because you're spending it on crap that you don't need. You're not conscious of where you're spending your money. You're not telling your money where to go each month. Your money is running the show, but money was made for you. Rules. People live by rules. They're dictated by rules. But rules were created for people. Not people were created for the rules. Don't make making money be about you. Make it about making money. It has nothing to do with how much confidence you have. It has nothing to do with how much you believe in yourself. Money doesn't care whether you believe in yourself at all, ever. Never, never, never. There's times in my life when I've felt like crap and I've had money. And there's times in my life when I felt wonderful and I had no money. Money doesn't care about how you're feeling or your skills. Money is just something that you use to buy goods and services. Now, my coach, Steve Chandler, said it best. Time and attention is the way. Money is the reward. My my dear mother, she used to say to me, she used to say to me, Dermot, what do you think? I'm made of money? And I would say, well, isn't that what Mom stands for? Made of money? She's like, no. And I thought, are you sure? She's like, yeah, pretty sure. The bank called me the other day and they said, Mr. Butley, this is the bank. We're calling because you have insufficient funds. I said, you mean I'm broke? They said, yes, Mr. Butley, you are. And then I asked the lady, hey, could you lend me some money? She said, no. I wonder why cows don't have money. You know why? Because the farmers have milked them dry. All right. That's terrible. Okay. So making money is easy. You got to point yourself in a direction and go for it. All right, got a question for you. Then we're gonna head out of here. What's one simple thing that you can do today that would bring you more money? Now, I've already asked that in a different way. What's one simple thing that you could do today to make some money? And then if you want to start building wealth, let's say you're not in debt and you do have some money coming in, you put it into the bank, which I don't encourage you to do. You know, 1 or 2% per year, that's not. Inflation is 4% per year. And you got it in the bank at 2%. You're still behind by 2%. Don't put it in the bank. You know. So what's one thing you can do today? Start making a little more money in your life. And if you want to, if you're out of debt, what's one thing you can do today to start building some wealth? Read a book. Go online, whatever it might be. It's pretty simple, everyone. Look, making money is not rocket science. It's pretty easy. But you've got to be easy about it, you know? You've got to, relax a little bit around money. I used to be so intense about making money. Now, you may need money, but you don't need it so badly that you're going to run yourself into the ground. That you're going to run the rest of your family into the ground. If you need money, if you need extra money, go out there and get an extra job and make money. For God's sakes, make money if you need to. But don't think that money is the reason that no money is the reason you're unhappy. Because you can be broke and happy, and you can be rich and happy, or you can be miserable and broke, or miserable and happy, or let me think, broke and happy. All right, you get the idea. Money is used to buy goods and services. It's not meant to make you happy. Now, is it great having money? Yes, there's a lot of things you can do with money. You can give, you can spend, you can buy things. But all of that is fleeting. It comes and goes. Have you noticed when you buy a new stereo or a car or a bike or whatever it is, you have that feeling for a little bit. But you know what? It's not the thing, because there's no inherent feeling in money or a new car. There's no magical feeling coming from it. You're assigning meaning to the new car. But then eventually your thoughts and your meaning go away, and the car doesn't mean anything anymore, and you go to the next thing. Constantly assigning meaning. So be easy about it all. Point yourself in the direction that you want to go. Take a step. And that's it, and you'll make more money. Now, we're going to be back next week. We're going to be talking about the Irishman's Guide to Making More Money. 6 big things that you can do now. You can also check me out at thecelticcoach.com. If you're interested in coaching, I'll take 2 hours. Now, I work with clients. I work with a certain amount of clients every year, so feel free to reach out to me. And if you're someone's like, oh, Dermot, I don't think I could afford, reach out to me. I'll give you 2 hours of an hour and a half to 2 hours of my time, and we'll coach the butt off of any kind of problem that you've got, and we'll get it sorted for you once and for all. And if you think that coaching might be something that you'd be interested in, we can talk about that too. No gimmicks, no pushing, none of that stuff. I don't need the, thank God, I used to need the money a lot for coaching. But now I coach because I really, really enjoy coaching people. So feel free to connect to me, and also go on my website, thecelticcoach.com. Sign up for the newsletter. I send these talks out every week. There's no charge for them. And you can get the MP3s sent to your email every week. Until next week, think big, have fun, stay curious. This is the Celtic Coach. And that, my dear friends, is no blarney. Cheers, everyone.